Hi guys, I'm SAP users. Welcome to another training session. It's your SAP consultant, Kelly Adele. Hope you had a nice day. Your day is going well. Actually, we're going to be looking at another very important business process functionality in SAP. Remember, our focus is in the FICO, so we have series of training. Kindly visit our YouTube channel, search for Kelechi Kelly Adele, or why not you can send me an email if you actually require um, further information about our trainings. You can reach out to me and I'll be glad to hear from you. Of course, if you have any observations, why not? I'm free to respond to you. So let's go into the issue for the day. Today we're actually looking at a very beautiful concept called recurring entry transaction in SAP. Just a background, basically there are in a business, day-to-day business operations, there are a lot of transactions that require recurring. Recurring means something that happens over and over again and that is not, that is fixed. In its nature, the transaction doesn't change, but it happens over a period of time. So we have transactions like rent, like staff loans, of course, repaying staff loans. We have a lot of expenses, some expenses that actually span through, like HMO, subscription, various subscriptions that you need to be paid, where you need to, the amount is fixed and is defined for a period of time. So the functionality that can be used to handle that entry, where automatically the system would actually make these postings, um, most likely behind the scene, is what we call the recurring entry program. Now, the essence of this is those transactions that happen monthly, instead of um, you doing these postings on a monthly basis, um, you actually use the recurring entry program to record these transactions just once. And every month, of course, the batch is generated and ran automatically. So basically, for this course, we're going to be taking you through the recurring entry transaction. How do you post a recurring entry transaction? How do you run a batch input session for a current transaction? And of course, view the GL line item to see how this transaction was actually posted. So welcome to another session. So I'm going to just go into training for the day and let's see what the recurring entry program is all about. Okay, recurring entry. This functionality is only recommended to be used only if the account assignment, the object of the general ledger accounts don't change when the document is posted. So like I said earlier, it's actually a predefined, it's a transaction that's defined and do not necessarily change, but occur over a period of time within the financial life of the business within a specific period. Now, the recurring entry can be used in general ledger accounts payable, accounts receivable postings, and thus this functionality of SAP can be used for various requirements of recurring document entry. So it can be used with different document types that span through the general ledger, the accounts payable function, and the accounts receivable postings. You have to basically specify the document type you need to use this transaction for. So let's look at the business scenario where the business requires a rental payment of $2,000 every month for a space of 1 year. We can create a recorded entry to actually post this expense. So let's go and see how we can post this transaction. So as I've explained, the recurring entry are business transactions that are repeated regularly, such as rent or insurance payments. They are posted by the recurring entry program based on the recurring entry documents. The recurring entry program handles these repeated transactions. The relevant transactions for posting and managing recurring entries are, first, to enter a recurring program, use the transaction code FPD1. To change a recurring entry program, use FPD2. To display a recurring entry program, use FPD3. To create posting documents, of course, to do the actual posting, we use F.14. And to run a batch input session where this posting is done, use SM35. So let's go now to our SAP and see how we can log in and look at what the recurring program looks like. So if you go into FPD1, this is the document of recurring program where you have to select the company codes, like the recurring entry, run, and select the document header information. Then, of course, enter your transaction. So let's go into SAP and see how this can be done. Sorry, I have to log in. So irrespective of the version of SAP you're using, you could be using the S4HANA or the ECC. This transaction remains the same. So go to the transaction code FPD1. Of course, what might have changed would be the transaction code. I can't confirm that now, but the screen looks like the process is actually the same. So when you enter the transaction code FPD1, which is the first step, you confirm your company code. You enter the first run. So let's say the first run will happen on the 1st of January 2021, or let's say happening today, it's on the 20th of February 2022, and this will end on the 19th of December 2023. Right. So this is a 1-year recurring entry program. Okay. Oh no, this is 12/3/03/01 2023. This is a recurring entry program. Now the interval in months tells you how will this, is it every 2 months to run this program or is it every month? So let's say every month. Then the run dates, you can start from the 1st or you can start from 31st. So starting from the 1st. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's say this. Okay, so you can transfer amounts in local currency. It's already in local currency, so this functionality is not necessary. Now you have your document type. So like I said initially, you can do this for an accounts receivable transaction, a customer transaction. You could do it for a customer invoice. You could, which is DB, customer recurring entry. You can do this for a vendor recurring entry. You can also do this for a GL. The document type for a GL is SA. So just select SA. Reference, you can reference if this transaction has an invoice number. So let's say this is T01. Header text, this would be rent 2021. Okay, so now this is where we get to the posting keys. For those of us who are new, the posting key represents how the transaction will be posted. There are different posting keys for different transactions. So for GL, the posting key 40 means debit. So I'm going to be debiting a particular expense, which is rent. If you don't have the expense, the account number on the offhand, just click the drop down, confirm your company code, click OK. Sort for your rent expense. So just click this drop down to sort this ascending or descending order. Go to your rent expense. It's fine. Click on enter. Now the translation date, you can start this from 20th, so you can just change this to 01. Click on enter. Confirm the amount. This is $2,000. If this GL is assigned to a cost center, you may be asked to provide a cost center. If not, you can leave that. So 2021 to 2020. No, sorry. Did I say 2021? 2022 to 2023. Okay, so you can go down, select the posting key. Now we've told the system we want to debit the expense. That's the account receiving. We need to also credit the bank, which is going to be represent a payment for this expense. You can click the drop down. It could be GL to GL. It mustn't be bank. If you have actually done this payment and you want, let's say you paid in advance, and you want the recurring program to just run, apportion it on a monthly basis, of course, you can do your rent expense to your rent prepaid expense account. Okay, so let's do this to a bank. So select your bank account. For me, this is my bank account. Just a second. Okay. Click on enter to validate to take you to the next line. Confirm the amount for the bank and also confirm the text. If you're done, you can go to your display document overview to view the posting behind the scene. So we have told the system that for this transaction, which is happening on the 20th, the system for every month from today or from now, when we're posting it, from the document date, but from the run date to from the run date to the end of which started on the 1st of January 2022 or February 2022 to the 1st of January 2023. The transaction that will be posted automatically will be this transaction. So every month the rent expense is going to be debited and the bank is going to be credited. So if you're okay with that, then go to document and post. So as usual, every document that is posted in SAP will generate a document number. This document number can be used. You can view this document number. It can also be reversed. Please check previous videos for special transactions in SAP, like reversing documents or displaying documents. So the next thing we're going to look at is how do we display recurring entry transaction. The transaction code is FBD3. You can also change it FBD2. So let's go to FBD3. So it has picked up the last document number. You can just click on enter. It's going to show you the GL postings behind the scene. So you have the posting keys, you have the accounts are affected, you have the description. There are no objects assigned to this transaction. So you go back. The next thing we're going to do, as at this level FBD1, no posting have been done to the GLs. The FBD1 does not mean that the transaction have been posted to the GLs. It just means that this entry is ready. For the posting, you use F.14. So after you enter your FBD1, create posting documents for recurring entry using F.14. So we go to transaction code F.14, post the recurring entry program. I have a variant, so I can just go and select my variant, or let me just do that. So select the variant. I have the variant here already. So the variant will bring my company code, my fiscal year, the document type, and the settlement period, which is can start with this, which is what I started with, which is the run date. And if I'm fine, you can click on execute. So Immediately you execute this transaction, you have a message said session SAP F120 was created. Now this is going to actually generate a batch which you're going to run. The posting has been done. However, it's actually sent to a batch that will require you to run the actual postings to actually start the recurring program for the next month. So to do that, if you check our note, you go to SM35, where you run your batch input session. So it is saved. Go to SM35. So you're going, when you go to the SM35 is actually used to run transactions that are created in batches. Most most fields or most documents will require you to run transaction in similar batches. So you can see that SAP user, you can see the session name, you can see the date it was posted. So just highlight it, go to process. Then you can tell the system to process this transaction at the background so that you can actually be working while this is running. You can select this functionality for the system to, in case there are any issues with this batch, you should actually look for an extended log to cancel if there's an error, simulate at the background mode. If you're fine, click on process. So the system is actually trying to post these transactions behind the scene. So you can see one session transfer to the background. So it's actually running it. Just give it about a few seconds and click on enter. You can see that this job has been created, right? If you want to do search to get this transaction, you can go to log. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you can see that transaction was processed. Let's go. Okay, so this is actually still running. Let's see if we can process this again. Okay, so let's go to log. So the log would actually show us the details of this transaction and show us the success of this. You can see two transactions have been posted. If you double click on it, you can see all the programs that have been run for this. Go back. So you can see this has been done. Let's see if we can check the supposed to get a lower. Okay, let me see. Do this. Okay, so let's check the GL line item and see if this session has actually been done. So let's go. So we're going to check the GL line item display, which is FBL 3N. Okay, so it has picked the GL that was used. So we can go to all items and just see the posting behind the scene. Okay, so we can see that this is yet to come. So we're going to go back and process that transaction just to make sure we're good. So let's go back to FBD1. It's probably something wrong with that batch. So let's just try and run this as fast as we can again. So we do this. We do this. Select the date, select document type, select the reference. Let's just say this as 2 so we can differentiate them. Select the monthly one, the posting key, select GL, enter. And this was $2,000. That's fine. Text. We've gone to the bottom, select the posting keys. 50, select the bank. enter, confirm the amount, confirm the text, display the document, and save. Okay, so the next step is simply run the batch inputs, run the posting. The variants are just selected, so it picks up all the transaction, change the month in question, and do the posting for the recurring documents in this system. Remember, this has not yet hit the GL until we run the batch input session. So you can go back, run the batch input session SM35 in order to make this actually work, in order to activate the monthly process. So select this and click on process. We can process this at the foreground. Let's try the foreground now. Foreground will allow us to see the process. Click on process. Okay, so you can see that the difference between background and foreground is the actual, you can see the document that will be posted in the recording program. So these have all been generated automatically. Click on enter to validate. So you check if it's fine. Click on enter to generate an OK key. Click on enter. Still the code. OK code is fine for code transaction. So click on enter. Click on enter just to validate this transaction. Click on enter. Click on OK. Click on OK. Click on that. So basically, just validate the transactions, and that is done. Okay. Now, processing of batch input session completed. So you can go to the session overview. You can see that that particular one is no longer in the session overview. I guess this is still running at the background. So you can go to the log. You go to log, you're going to see the current batch we just ran. If you select it, display, you're going to see the transaction that was posted, all that. Okay, so it's probably it was successful. So go back to your line item again, try and run this transaction code. You can see that the posting has actually been done. So we actually entered it twice. So it picked the first one that was running at the background and picked the second one. So we have two transactions posted from two different batch input sessions. Okay, so thank you, because this was running at the background, because based on your system, based on the system space, it was actually running this. But when we did the second one, which was we did to run at the foreground, so that's why when we were entering, the system brought back the previous one and still brought back the new one. So we have from two different recurring program, two GLs posted. So this is actually how, on a monthly basis, this program will be ran and will be posted directly to the GLs. All right, so this is actually how you can post your recurring entry program. Okay, because if you want to drill down into the transaction, you can go to FBD2 to display this posting. Hit the last document, click on enter. You can drill down into this, click on the line item, click on the heart to show you the details of this transaction, the reference, the transaction keys, the date was entered, the transaction code, the information you need to know about your recurring entry program. Okay, it's also important to note that you can actually delete your recurring program and set it for deletion. Okay, so thank you very much for this session. So thank you for watching. Remember that if you want to get more training videos on SAP, kindly visit our YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. Just search, go to YouTube and search Kelechi Kelly and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please kindly share this video wherever you see it. If it's on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Twitter, just share and let other people also benefit from this knowledge. Why not? You can reach me up for training. You can WhatsApp me. The phone number is +234-703-481-3335. Or you can do me an email at agilykelechi739@yahoo.com. Thank you very much for finding out time to watch this. Wherever you are, remember to be safe. And, remember to always reach out and always like our videos and subscribe. Take good care of yourself and have a lovely day. Thank you very much. Once again, it's your SAP consultant. It's your SAP consultant, Kelechi Kelly. Do have a lovely day. Thank you.